the truth.
I flipped it over a little too early, but that's all right. Who cares, right? Anyway, I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, the government told me what the date is, so I'll always be right. Anyway, we're going to call it February 3rd. It's a Tuesday, 2026. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the government told me to tell you, and so, by God, I follow orders around here. Anyway, goings on of the day, there has been a lot of movement on the Epstein files. And guys, if you are not a, what do you want to call it? If you're not a prescriber, subscriber, a pay attentioner, if you don't think that there are evil things in the world, wow, I applaud you, and I wish I had that naivete, but I will tell you that, yes, Jeffy, he was Jeffy. We'll call him Jeffy. I like Jeffy. I don't like using the whole Jeffrey thing. I don't think he's a Jeffrey. I never liked the word Jeffrey. But anyway, hopefully my guest today is not named as Jeffrey or named his kid Jeffrey, because I just insulted his whole family. But anyway, the Jeffy stories are coming out, and they're coming out pretty significant. If you watch the Steve Bannon interview, he does go into great depth talking about actually refuting even Newton's law. Going as far as to going into the physics of things and talking about how, now I'm paraphrasing, guys, don't take this as this is for my own entertainment and purposes only. Do not take me serious. If you do, then you're crazy. Anyway, he did talk about how that physics itself really has a hard time explaining a lot of the things that we see as real. Like, we understand that there is a table underneath me right here, and we see this as something that's solid, and you can hear the microphone, and I can bang on it with my fingernails because they're just slightly tougher than my skin, but yet I can take a piece of paper and tear it with my hands, which means that my hands are more durable or harder than the paper, but yet there are things that are harder than my skin. The point is that they were using mathematics and they were using quantum computing. Now, by the way, we've talked about the quantum computer. We've talked about the quantum financial system. We've talked about Nassara Jassara. We've talked about all these dang things. We talked about what Q was. And guys, at the end of the day, you really need to just be prepared that all the things that you thought were kind of like, they're absolutely worse than you thought. Now, let me give you why this, and I'm going to bring my special guest on here in just a second. I apologize to him. I'm getting a little long-winded, but the reason that the Jeffy thing makes a big deal and why it's so big to you, it does not matter who put their thing in anybody or did anything to anybody else or any of that. None of that matters. The absolute greatest lesson about the Jeffy releases, the 2.5 million pages that were released last week, and there's like another 2 tranches of information that'll be coming out again. What it does is it pierces the glass ceiling that you knew was there, that you knew that there was people above you. There were people with influence. There were people with dollars. There were people with knowledge of things that were just above you, just enough. And they had this privilege that they could literally kill people. They could start wars. They could kill nations. They could overthrow governments. They could kill children. They could consume humans. And there's not a damn thing any of you or any government will ever do about it. That is the lesson of this whole thing. So when we say, let them eat cake, and we sit down here and we're like, oh, may we have some more, some more gruel, some more Soylent Green. I mean, guys, that's not an exaggeration. So if you want to take the lesson of everything that you have learned over the last 7 or 8 years since Trump walked down got on that golden escalator and rode that thing down to the main floor of his building in New York, guys, that since you have seen that and it's up to today, the lesson learned, the absolute lesson learned is, yes, you can affect a lot of things. Yes, you can do a lot of things, but there is a club. and you are not in it. You do not participate. So don't ask. If they want you to be a part of it, they'll ask you. See, this is where everybody's getting this secret society thing all screwed up. It's all right in front of your face. Skull and crossbones is not a myth. Hunting down 20,000 people in the German forests 6 years ago, that sting, that bust was real. So when we talk about what we're learning about ourselves and the world around us, is that evil does exist in ways that we don't even want to begin to understand. And we would really say that, are we living in the times of Revelation already? Are we living after Christ has come? But the point of it is that evil has gone unfettered and unrestrained for so long that it seems like it's out of control, and that's on us. So if you guys want to be a better part of things, just understand what the story is, what the narrative is, and then you don't have to worry about being on the wrong side of history and what things really look like. So anyway, I didn't mean to get into lecturing you about the New World Order and things of that nature, but that's what the lesson is. I do have a special guest with me today, and I'm going to jump. There we go. Oh, there we go. All right. So go ahead and speak. Can you speak?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we got
It's
you.
coming through? Okay, good.
Okay. All right. So let me do my little. Sorry about that. Someone was probably calling me to tell me that my.
Sound wasn't on.
Yeah. So anyway, real quick. So let me do my spiel for you real quick, and I apologize about that. Anyway, guys, the special guest I have here is it's C60.com. I use C60. It's a carbon 60. It gives an electron off when you got an abnormal cell. Something's out of misfunction, like the wheel weight's off the tire and it's bouncing all over the place. Well, I use C60 in my eyes. I had a floater in my left eye. I got rid of that floater that was in there. I use it on wounds. I used it on my turkey when she got attacked by the neighbor's dog. I used it on my own wounds. And I use it even on my face or down across my body when I feel like I got a little negative energy going on throughout the day. So anyway, good stuff. Sorry, guys, you didn't hear all that. We did a really great job. By the way, you guys should have been listening the whole time. It was an awesome deal. But anyway, sorry, I'm going to let you go. Or wait, you're this side of me. I'm going to let you go ahead and tell everybody about C60 and how you discovered, well, not really how you discovered it, but how you discovered it. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you're using it for different things. It's a dietary supplement or a topical product, and you can put it on. You reach an organ in 5 minutes when you put it on over an organ or a muscle or a joint or pain, or put it on your eyelids or put it in your mouth before you go systemic through your entire body. But I'm glad you're using it for different applications, because it almost sounds too good to be true, but it's not. Um, Hang on, sir. Now I got problems on my end.
That's all right. Well, I will tell you though, the C60, I feel it. Like if you like, I'll spray it like across my face and across down over my head and let it fall down, because like we all know we're electricity, right? Isn't that basically what? Let's start with that part of it.
Yeah, the carbon. Basically, it's electricity. It's the flow of electrons.
Right. So if I'm having negative energy, if I'm feeling down, or I feel like there's something like on me, why wouldn't misting C60 down over myself really? Doesn't that give me a reset? Doesn't that put me back in balance? Right?
Well, it does penetrate through your skin very quickly. The particles are very, very, very small. I mean, they're so small that you could, if you hollowed out a red blood cell, you could fit 14 billion inside of a red blood cell. So they're tiny.
Right,
so they go everywhere, and they go through your body. You can put it on your skin. They'll get into your bloodstream. They'll get into your face. Most people put it on their face. Over Christmas, I had some, Christmas family and some kids there. They were spraying it on their face. And they say, oh, well, look, they're glowing. Like in about 2 minutes later, their face, the blood would kind of come to their face more, and they'd have a little bit of a red tone to them. Yeah. So they were glowing. So putting it on topically, it goes into your brain, it goes into your, orally, it goes into your whole body. It travels everywhere. It goes systemic in 5 minutes, throughout your whole body.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's where I think that this is kind of, I don't, now, let me do this. If we were thinking, now you just said inside of one of my cells, but one cell, how many on the tip of a needle, how many cells can fit on the tip of a needle? Do you know that one offhand?
No, I don't, but probably thousands.
Okay, but you said how many of these C60s fit inside of one cell?
Yeah, well, they fit inside of one red blood cell.
Yeah.
Which is tiny.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like, so we're talking about something that's so small that it's getting inside the blood cells. So this is really going beyond what we know as like a lotion I put on my face, right? I'm putting tallow. Right. This is actually, can I say supernatural in a way? Because you can see it in the bottle. It's gray or dark black, right? But when you spray it on you, it almost disappears. Like, you sprayed it, but you feel the coolness of the water, but you don't, it's not like your face goes dark like you got charcoal on your face. So, but it's immediately going into the body, and it's just sacrificing itself the whole way in. And we don't think of things, we think of like, oh, if I'm going to take a fenbendazole here, which we were talking about on the show yesterday. If I'm going to take one of these, I can see, oh, it's not even open. I'll wait for later. But, if I'm going to take this 50-cent piece, I can see this. I physically can see this, and I put it in my mouth, and I swish it down with water, right? But with C60, this is doing something that is more, it's more magical, because it's beyond just like a lotion or a pill for a pain. This is actually getting in and creating balances in your body that you haven't begun to think about, right?
We put it in a face serum that you put on, which is a good oil. It's squalane oil, and that's good for your face. Oils or face serums you put on, they kind of hold the moisture in your face. The moisture doesn't evaporate off. Your skin gets softer. Yeah. That's one mechanism of how they work. But the carbon 60 goes beyond that. It goes into the cells of your skin. Now, your cells, they don't all work properly. Right. And the reason they don't work properly, you have an electron missing on one of the molecules. There's many molecules in a cell, thousands. And so we got one molecule there that's not working properly because it's missing an electron. So it steals an electron from its neighboring molecule, then that one from its neighbor, and that one from its neighbor, so on and so forth. And that domino effect rips through the cell, causes that cell not to perform. So you give it that one electron that's missing, and it fires that cell back up, so it's not performing the way God intended it. Right. And it works. and your body just has more. You actually can feel more energy when you take it orally. People say, "Well, it's not like a caffeine or anything like that. It's subtle. You're just turning on more cells in your body to work more efficiently, and all your glands and secretions and everything like that are in your body, they work better because now those cells are turned on and they're working."
Right. Now, let me ask you, if you're saying that you're putting the cell back in balance, then that means the cell is working efficiently. That means that cell doesn't need to be replaced. That means that cell is not either abnormal or damaged. So that means that it's not going to turn into something gunky or plug up your system. So when you think of like lymph node glands, things like that, you're going to say that a lot of this C60 is going to help keeping you in balance and keeping you cleaned out so your body can do the simple stuff instead of worrying about whether your cells are functioning correctly. Is that a good analogy?
That's a real good analogy. If your cells are not functioning properly, your body disposes of them.
Right.
So so toxins all cause steal electrons. So if you have toxins in your body or exposed to toxins, this eliminates the toxin. It neutralizes the toxin, so it can't do any damage. But then the damage it does is stealing an electron. So, yeah, it turns your cells on so they work better. You function more uniformly. Everything is, it's like greasing the skids. It makes everything works properly. And
Right.
it's a very easy product to take too. It's not like and it's not super expensive. It's cheaper than a doctor's visit or a supplement, or a prescription or something like that. So, and it's readily available. We ship everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and the idea that you have, like you said, you have the face cream, which I'm not saying about, I'm just talking about like the idea that we think we have to apply something for it to work, and we can see the pink cream or the yellow cream or whatever it is. It's the idea that this C60 just disappears, but you're using things like sunflower oil and other things like that are very, very good for you already, but then the C60 is going to be part of all that as well. When you started this whole process, you talk about you were working on graphene and some other things, but you got in the lab one day. Can you tell that story about the lab, how you were in there processing and then you turned the lights on or something and then you noticed how foggy the room was?
Sure. Yeah, I worked in the aerospace business, and I was working on bombs of mass destruction, so to speak. And there's no defense in the defense industry; it's all offense. So I said, you know what? I want to work for positive things and to help humanity, then blow it up, so to speak. And I was making the carbon 60. We needed some for an experiment. And I said, I think I know how to make that. And I have a laboratory. I went down in my laboratory and put some apparatus together and produced a small amount of carbon 60. And I said, oh my gosh, I produced a speck of it. And I said, okay, let me gear up again, reformulate my apparatus and juggle things around. And okay, I produced a size of a head of a common pin, a little speck of it.
Right.
And then a BB size, and then a P size, and a thimbleful. We had a thimbleful, we sent it off for a test. It came back as carbon 60. So I'm like a mad scientist working in a laboratory, I work through lunch or whatever and work to 2 o'clock in the morning. But I'm in there working all day long, 6 or 8 hours. And the particles, like I said, they're so small, you can fit 14 billion inside of a red blood cell. So they float in the air. They're almost colloidal suspension. And when I was working in the lab for 6 or 8 hours, I filled the room up with this dust, unbeknownst to me, because it slowly process happens over 6 or 8 hours.
Right.
And then I opened a door, a crack of sunlight, and I looked and I said, oh my gosh, there's a lot of dust in the air. And I looked into it like a cubic centimeter. And then I said, gosh, there's got to be 1,000 particles in there. Well, there are probably 1 billion, but they were all twinkling in the light. I opened it up. The whole room was full of this black dust.
Right.
And I was breathing it for 6 or 8 hours. And I go, oh my gosh, what did I do to myself? Did I toxify myself? And I went home that evening and got on a computer and started researching carbon 60 and found out, I researched it for 18 months. I read everything I could. In the meantime, I go back to the laboratory and do this. But when I was breathing all that dust for 6 or 8 hours, and excuse me, but my stools were black, charcoal black for 3 days.
Right.
And because it went in through my lungs, into my body, and up my GI tract.
Right.
And nothing, I felt no negative downside. I felt the cleansing, but that's only my opinion. But there was no problems except for black stools.
Yeah.
And which weren't a problem. They just were black.
Right.
And so that's how I actually discovered how to, I worked on it. I'm a research scientist kind of guy, and I tinker in the laboratory all the time. I've done that worked in the research and development departments in aerospace companies most of my life.
Right.
And I continue to do it. And I was brought up doing that with a mentor,
Yeah. Well, now when we talk about like how C60 is, and Julie D, she's on here. You ought to. I'll have to send you his number, Julie D, and you guys can use this for your show as well. She's another influencer on here. Also, everybody, real quick, Courtney Allen was in surgery. I don't know, Dave Salee, what was the surgery for? I missed that part of it. But anyway, I knew she was in the emergency room last night, but I did not see the outcome. Anyway, get a chance to put that in the chats. But anyway, Julie, you might want to, we'll have to send you his number, and you guys can be an affiliate with them. By the way, this is C60.com, promo code PRICE. So if you go to C60.com, a lot of these products are just so simple. Like I said, I used it on my turkey, who the neighbor dog got a hold of her, and she had a big gash probably about 6 inches along her side. And I used C60 and Micronic Silver, or Nano Silver. So I used Nano Silver spray, and I used Carbon 60 spray on it. So I was doing both, and it healed right up. There was no stitches, and you can't tell whether she was ever wounded or not. So that's
it's remarkable how much it helps things, close up wounds and everything like that. I've got a wound healing doctor that uses it on patients that have chronic wounds that don't heal, usually from diabetes.
Right.
And he sprays it on top of them, and like within the weeks they don't have any progress. He sprays this on top. In a week, you can't tell there was a problem to start with.
Right.
So, and we got picture proof. You look at the website. There's pictures of that up there, and it shows you all this stuff. It's not a hoax or anything like that. It's real science, and we have all the science backed up on our website. Underneath the science section, we got pictures of the particles underneath, scanning electron microscopes, and certified that it's non-toxic, and tests out of laboratories and all that stuff. And it's very simple to use. There's no taste to it. It's pretty simple. You just pop it in your mouth or spray it on. We have the water-based product. You can spray it on topically over your skin,
right?
And that works very well. And that's just a mist, and you just spray it.
Now, if I was having so a lot of times cancer cells and parasites love an acidic pH. Is there anything and this is just a question. I don't know if this has even related, but does the C60 create a pH balance in the body, or does it just create the harmony and the electricity, the vibration of the body? Which does it? But do you help with the pH?
Carbon generally is a buffer. So it stabilizes everything. It doesn't really change the pH.
Okay.
That I'm not too sure of how it changes. If it does change, I don't think there's any pH change. It's mainly the electron that it donates and gives up to stabilize. Now, cancer. There's a lot of talk right now. They're showing a lot of clinical trials that the carbon 60 in water has really helped with a lot of these mutated cells. When they're missing electrons, if you get a whole bunch of these cells together that are missing electrons or molecules, that's basically what cancer is. They all vibrate at a different frequency, like that imbalanced tire you talked about. It's like missing a weight.
Yeah.
They all vibrate at a different frequency. They shake the electrons off the neighboring molecules, and then it grows.
Right.
The carbon 60 will give an electron to those molecules.
Yeah.
Make them work properly, stop the vibration, the frequency, and go back to normal.
So so guys, let me do something real quick. Energy and frequency, wavelength, peaks and valleys, these are all the same words. They're saying the same exact thing. Voltage, amperage, speaker, hear my voice, the waves, energy, everything, these are all the same thing. When I talk about energy and I talk about, frequency and I talk about so when we use C60, you're putting yourself back into a homeostasis effect. You're putting your body back into a balance that it requires. And so this is where we need to think about how energy works. I said earlier in this, I wanted this as kind of my experiment. This is my thing as Jim Price, not C60.com or anything like that. They're not promoting this, but I use it as an energy exchange. If I feel like I'm having just like a stress day, I feel like there's just a lot going on, I'll take and just mist it down over my head and down on my shoulders like a cologne, like I'm a Italian guy on a Saturday night disco. I've got this, I'm just hosing it down a little bit, right? So to me, and I'll spray it on my face, and I open my eyes, and I'll spray one each in there, and then I'll just kind of, because your eyes are extension of your brain, so your eyes are your brain. So why not treat them with C60 and get your brain, balanced and things going on between the outside world and that brain that's never seen daylight. I use it for that. I think it's been great for me. I'll take the oral, but I love the spray. I do both. So I take the oral every day, and then I take the spray, and I just, every now and again, I just feel like I've got to get the voodoo off of you, right? So it's energy. Whether you want to call it, whatever it is, evil's energy, right? Good is energy. Why not have, put yourself in balance? So that's where I won't go with it. I don't know if you want to put that in your advertising campaign, but that's how I'm advertising it for you. So,
but the carbon 60 spray is carbon 60 in water. So it's not, the other products are in an oil, like either sunflower oil, an olive oil, or a face serum oil. Yeah. So the water base is different. So it uses water as a carrier.
Right.
So we're made out of water.
Yeah.
So your body doesn't have to process the oil off the molecule. You can take it orally. You can put it on topically.
Yep.
And it works both ways. 5 squirts in your mouth, under your tongue, gets into your body, or spray it on topically. I've even got children that come up that say, "Oh, I've got a headache," and they'll take the bottle and they'll spray it on their temples and the bridge of their nose. Yeah. And they'll go away, and the headache goes away.
It really it is that. It is that. I mean, I don't know if I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but to me, it's a little more spiritual. To me, it's the energy, it's the essence of what we are. It is our cells. It is actual balance, and kind of the simplest way to put your cells back in balance. NADs and all the stuff. I understand the mitochondria. I understand all the cell functions. I know all the different things we can do for precursors. But if you can keep the wheel weights on your car, and your car's going to go down the road smoothly, you're going to enjoy life. Your body's going to enjoy the ride, right? You're going to have bumps here and there, but you're not going to be just shaken apart like you're just ready to lose your teeth in your head. Like this is something to me. I have noticed. I have taken it now. What has it been? We've been doing this about 4 months now, something like that.
Yeah, about that. Yep.
Something like that. And I've used the snot out of it. I don't. Whenever I get a shipment in, I'm already like, okay, come on, I'm waiting. Like, I'm out, But to me, it's a personal thing, and I do believe it's so beneficial just for that. And if you kind of use it in that way and just kind of, try it, the spray, what's the spray called? 45, is that right? Or the 45?
Well, the spray is called either the mist or the hydrated fullerenes or carbon 60 in water.
Yeah, the mist.
The mist. And you're right. It's like going down a road smooth with balanced tires, and you have a higher quality of life. The bumps aren't as bad, and it smooth things out. And that's really what it does. It increases the quality of your life, because everything in your body is now functioning better than it was. It gets rid of the toxins. It neutralizes toxins. They have no more, to the point where you give it an electron, a positively charged toxin, you give it an electron which is negatively charged, there's no more charge anymore. There's no more reason for it no magnetic attraction for it to stick around. So it just passes out your body. Now, and it works very well that way.
If I were to say I had some type of dysfunction, like I had I
don't think so.
Me, I am the description of dysfunction. If dysfunction functioning fully. Ooh, that's a t-shirt. Dysfunction functioning fully. Hell yeah. Write that down, somebody. We got to get that out there. But if let's say I had a cancer, I have some hot spots where parasites and trauma has built up. We call now cancer. So let's say I have that built up, and I'm like, hey, I'm willing to drink a bottle of the mist a day or the oil a day. Is there a problem with me going and saying, listen, I'm going to spend if I'm going to do the spray, how much is the spray on your website? Do you know?
They're like $89.
$89. So let's say I'm willing to spend $100 a day, and I'm going to spend $100 a day for the next 30 days, and I just take 2 ounces of that bottle and just chug it down every day. Am I on a fool's errand, or am I gonna hurt myself, or what would my body's response be if I'm just down in it?
You don't need that much.
Okay.
Okay. You really don't, because, there's over 100 billion carbon molecules in every serving. And that's well over 100 billion. It's more like a quadrillion, but people don't understand. Well, if they know what the deficit is, they can understand it a little bit.
I was to say, we're not quite at the deficit of a quadrillion yet. So we're, let's look at.
Yeah. But still, so there's about a quadrillion carbon-60 molecules per serving, the 20 nanometer size that we produce. And we produce them in a laboratory with some equipment. We convert them from something that has carbon in it, something that's organic, and we take them out of their shape they're in, their atomic arrangement, rearrange them into spherical shape, and produce them by the billions of every second.
Right.
And because they're very, very small.
Yeah.
So people can take it. You don't need to take that much of it. People, we recommend once a day, but people take it 2 or 3 times a day. I wouldn't recommend taking it every 5 minutes, because your body works in cycles. You eat in cycles, you sleep in cycles, you go to the bathroom in cycles, your organs work in different cycles. Yeah. And so everything in your body is cyclic. So it needs a time to rest and time to work, time to rest, time to work. So if you take it 2 or 3 times a day for a serious condition, you'll see quicker results.
So there is a time there is a season for everything, huh? I appreciate that. Nice little callback on the 70s song there. So if you, now I talked about my turkey getting attacked by the neighbor dog, which is her own fault. She climbed or jumped a 6-foot wood fence. I mean, I tried to stop her, right? But now we've talked about animal husbandry and the idea that there's a lot to be said about this and using it for wound care and other type of animal dysfunctions. Now we've talked about like horses and other things like that. What are some of your antidotes for animal besides mine? Using the nano silver and then the C60 on a wound. You couldn't tell there was a wound there anymore. So what are some of your antidotes on that?
Well, I had a stem cell doc actually, and he gave his dog stem cells, and it didn't do any good. He was having kidney failure. And so he said, well, you know what? I'm going to put the dog down. And he said, well, wait a minute. Let me try the carbon 60. What do I got to lose? 2 weeks later, that dog was running around like a puppy. His kidneys started functioning properly. My dad's kidneys started functioning properly. He was down to 14%, and then he went up to 41% in about 6 weeks.
Wow.
So it just turns those cells on that are dormant, that aren't working. Yeah. And that's what basically all health issues are caused from the same thing. There's a molecule missing an electron. Yeah. And you get too many of them in one location, and you got liver problems.
Well, what does your body do with an abnormal cell or dysfunctioning cell but create histamine around it? So now we're all inflamed, full of mucus, and then we feel like shit because we got all this mucus and all this inflammation. We've got all these cells that really just need to be will-weighted again, put back in balance, and they're being disposed of through snot and waste, when in reality, why not just keep the cells, skip the snot, and have a great life?
I had a good friend of mine, Mike Wheeler, called me today. He says, he went into his doctor for a check. They had to get something, and the doc himself, he had a bad tooth, and his face was all inflamed and swollen. And so he said, here. He just happened to have a bottle in his pocket, pulled it out, said, spray some of this on your tooth, 5 squirts. And they went on through their exam or whatever they did, and 10 minutes later, he said, your face, the swelling's gone down on your face. He said, no kidding. Let me look. And he looked, he said, geez, my pain's gone away on my jaw.
Right.
I mean, and that's in like 5-10 minutes. So it works very quickly on a lot of things, not everything, but most 98% of everything. I would say 98+% success rate.
Yeah.
Try it for 10 days. And if you don't, we'll send your money back. I don't care.
This is where Medicaid or Medicare should be on this for wound care for elderly. I mean, this stuff would be ideal for that. That was one of the things that actually affected Marge the most when she had dementia at the end, was the wound care became a problem for her. So
Well, there's
that's,
studies coming out about dementia right now. They came out 2022, 2025, that carbon 60 helps with Alzheimer's and dementia.
oh,
I
wow.
mean, there's published peer-reviewed papers, medical journals.
Yeah.
It's this stuff. You got to pay attention to the carbon 60.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
People don't. They're gonna miss out for longevity, quality of life,
Yeah.
and living life. They tested on laboratory rats and it doubled their lifespan.
See,
That's real
that's
peer-reviewed published article
right.
out there.
Well, and
So now
that's simple. Go ahead.
humans, it hasn't happened yet, because we haven't lived that long. People, I've been taking carbon 60 most likely longer than any person on the planet,
Right.
and that was since 2012 when I got exposed to it.
Right.
No.
Well, now when we talk about this, I mean, this is easier than the vitamins, though. I'm going to tell you right now, it's kind of like my mushrooms. It's just in a dropper. You put a little under your tongue and you go. The same idea. This is really just something. Even let's say after you brushed your teeth with your remineralizing toothpaste and not the fluoride stuff, and then you just took a little right next to your toothbrush. You just put your C60 in, swishing it around, swallow it while the mineralization toothpaste is in there doing all that. I mean, guys, there's no reason that this isn't part of your routine. And the idea for wound care, if you have blemishes, you have cuts on your hands, you got a dog that's got bit, or your dog bit something else, it works for all that stuff, and it's pretty amazing. So, to me, it's interesting history stuff. So it's C60, C60.com, and you're what? You said you're one of the only three-letter .coms out there. Is that right?
Yeah, there's only 999 three-letter .coms out there, right? Or
900.
something like that.
Oh, is it?
There's not. Well, there's different letters, I guess they have. So there's more than that. There's base 26 instead of base 10.
There you go.
But yeah, there's not many of them out there. C60.com/price. Go down there and get yourself a bottle.
Yeah.
Take a look at it. Go to our website. Look at the testimonies. Look at the videos that we have of people, and look at the pictures we have. Comparison pictures of people's face when they look at it before and after. Look at the wounds that close up. Look at the birthmark that went away. Which is a genetic defect from birth. I can't explain that one. I don't know. I don't know all the answers, but I know the results.
Well, again, a lot of those birthmarks are just abnormal cells. These are not cells these are what they've shown is it's like, let's be facetious but they're like liver cells that grow on the outside. And or the same thing, and what it is just, and so what happens if the C60 is actually going in there and repairing that? Well, those existing cells will quit growing in that area because it doesn't balance there. It's not functional there. So I see that as an absolute, correcting device for that. To me, you can get rid of those, like the alopecias and all the different things like that. I will tell you this. I've been doing the copper to get the color back, which I'm getting it back. I know it seems like I've got gray here, but it is coming back. This is all, I have tan, so it doesn't look as dark. But I'm telling you what, dude, I got hairs coming out. I got hairs coming out on the little beach that was the beachhead that I always talk about because of hormones. Sure. Well, now I've got little hairs all growing over here and here now. So, and I attribute that to exactly the C60. I've got even a curly hair that's kind of out here on its own. It's just kind of boink, doing its own little thing. It's kind of hard to miss because it really got out there and was really doing its own thing, and I don't cut my hair, so it's actually just the right amount from when I started using the C60 as a spray on my face. So I'm seeing it for hair regrowth in areas where they were just probably clogged pores.
Yeah, people that were bald put it on their heads. They started growing hair. Not everybody, but there have been several people. People that had scabs on their head. They put it on there, and all the scabs form. The white blood cells come up underneath that scab. People call it something else, but it comes up underneath that scab and forms a boundary layer, pushes your white blood cells up there, and this is what the carbon 60 apparently attracts to that area, and then the scab falls off in about 10 days, about 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
you got pink, beautiful skin underneath there, and it's gone for good.
And it is not any harder than that, guys. That's really the miracle of it. It's just kind of, it's not like, okay, so you take NAD and then you take in glutathione and then it goes into you got to do this kind of just, it's the mushroom of carbon 60 is like a mushroom. Mushrooms are adaptogenic. C60 is going to go where it's needed. It's going to put it, it's going to slough itself off. It's going to sacrifice itself off for wherever your body is in that dysfunction or that imbalance. So it's really kind of a cool process and all that.
I mean, how much better can it get than that? You take it orally, it seeks out the positively charged with the negative charge, seeks out the problem, fixes the problem, problem goes away. I mean, that's as simple as it is. I think it's the biggest discovery in the history of health history. There's nothing been like this on the planet before. Nothing comes even close to it. Yeah, you got vitamin C, you got other antioxidants, but those are huge.
Yeah.
The particle size makes all the difference in the world. These are tiny, they're spherical shaped, they look like a soccer ball, and that's what they look like underneath the microscope, a high-powered microscope. We can't even see them, they're that small.
Right.
The microscopes don't go down that slow, but they get close, they can get an idea.
Yeah.
Well, so.
C60.com. Maggie O'Leary was asking I missed what the product is. It's C60. It's carbon 60. This is just carbon, guys. So it's not like it's something that, this is a super secret ingredient from the hills of Himalayas and nibba-gooba-doos. It's just carbon. So,
well, it is just carbon, but to get it into that allotrope of carbon, which is a molecular arrangement of the atoms,
right.
The way the atoms are arranged in a spherical shape, there is a trick to doing that, and it's quite extensive to do that, to make it, to put it into that. Now, carbon 60, there's no toxicity to it or no bad side effects. There's no side effects at all. So it's very clean carbon, it's pure. And it goes and seeks out the problem, resolves it. People have extremely good luck with it. About everybody that uses it reports good luck. And I said, you don't try it for 10 days. You don't like it, refund your money. I've been doing this for 15 years. We've had like 5 people ask money back.
Yeah, I don't know. I run out. I'm like already using it up before I can't get replenished fast enough because I use it so much. And to me, like I said, I'm doing it for energy. I'm doing it for the clarity of my eyes. We've had this every time in the winter, folks. We always think we get these stuffed up noses because it's winter and we're getting sick. No, you're not getting sick because it's winter. You have a dry nasal cavity where you start swelling up because the heater or the furnaces in your house dry your house out during the winter. You can have snow outside and be horribly dry inside. That's why you need the humidifier. But if you had the C60, you could be spraying that. You could be doing it in those processes. But we have to think about how our bodies operate in a completely different way than we have all along. We can't just keep going and putting Advil down our face, right? We got to be thinking about, why did we have the headache? Why is there that pain? Now, I've had fractures, so I'm working on it, okay? I'm still taking a little Advil here. But at the end of the day, I know the C60 is going in and going to help with the structural repair of that. I know that the things that need to heal and the things that need to move out, that C60 is going to aid in that. To me, that's beneficial. This has been, for me, it's kind of one of those products that it's been real easy to get on board with. Nano Silver is probably my first real kind of, other than minerals, that I'm behind, and then the other is the C60. And I think Nano Silver and the C60 do amazing things separately, because the silver sits in and creates a balance and keeps the bacteria and funguses out, but then the C60's in, getting your cells just doing their damn job, right? Let's just get going, boys. So I find them very complementary of each other. Not that you have those or anything, but I just see that those things are things that it isn't harder than that. That's what I like about C60.
Well, the nano silver, they used to throw a bar of silver down in the bottom of a well to keep out bacteria and keep it clean. Silver is a good product it's an anti-pathogen type product. Carbon 60 is an anti-free radical product. Right. So, free radicals are caused from, what they cause. Even like the spike protein and everything causes free radicals in your body. Yep. Carbon 60 will stabilize the free radical. The problem goes away. It won't get rid of the spike protein or any pathogen. I mean, that's
what nicotine will do. See, nicotine will get rid of the pathogen, but then the effects of the pathogen won't happen because the C60 is keeping things in balance. See, it works with everything. C60 works alongside of everything else that's there. It's just that, guys, it's I don't know. Oh, you know what? And I don't want to make this sound this way, but it is like having soft water at your house. It's not necessary. You can get away with just regular old city water. It's a little crusty, rusty, and it may have a little goo in it, but that's all right. But you know what? Have you ever had soft water? Have you ever been in those houses that had the soft water where it's really nice? And when you go, you soap up, the soap's just extra lather. Well, that's what having C60's like. It's just that extra little nice. It doesn't mean you're going to die without it, but you know what? It's going to make things a lot nicer. Your face is going to feel better. You're going to feel better. You're going to respond to things differently. Your wounds will held differently. So it's just one of those things. It's just really nice to have. And to me, it's the easy one to add. You don't have to go in and reinvent anything or buy a new coffee pot.
It's pretty simple. It's easy to do. There's no taste to it unless you get the olive oil product, which is fine. It's just a different carrier oil.
Yeah.
If you like olive oil, it's got the little peppery polyphenol taste to it, but it's olive oil.
Yeah.
The sunflower oil works really good. It's a low omega-6 sunflower oil, so we don't have the problematic seed oil problems with the sunflower oil because it's a organic, non-GMO, low omega-6 sunflower.
Yeah. Real quick, Courtney Allen had an appendectomy. She took her pinky out of her intestines. And Courtney Allen, sorry to hear that you had that. I'm glad that you're doing okay. And just letting everybody know that she had an emergency appendectomy. Got her thing taken out of her intestine. And so anyway, hope you get to feeling better. And get yourself some C60 so that internal wound will heal faster. So there you go.
Yeah, just spray it on topically. Yeah. Over that area, it'll soak into the skin. When you spray the topical mist or the water-based product on there, what happens is little micro bubbles land on your skin. You don't have to rub it in. You don't want to rub it in. You want those micro bubbles to dry off, and then the carbon is left behind and it penetrates right into the skin.
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah,
the
that's
water's
what I do.
Just a carrier.
I do it all the time. I'm 80 years old. Look how good I look for 80.
Oh, wow.
Boy, I'm telling you.
I didn't think you were that old. Come on, cut it out.
Yeah, no, I'm 78. I'm not 80. Anyway, so no, it's all the C60 I use. That's what's doing it. Anyway, red light therapy is one of the big things I do for my skin, and then the C60. Now, I've really found the good stuff. So, all right, well, I'm going to get you out of here. C60.com, promo code price or C60/price, either way, probably will get you there too. Anyway, guys, get yourself some of it. I enjoy the mist, and then I use the 45 with the sunflower oil is the one I use, and so it's really good. So.
Yeah, good. Give us a call if you got any questions, anything you want to go over. We have a live operator that answers the phone, and so we can talk to you.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. We'll get you back on here soon. And hey, thanks for the great product, man. I really
heal up. I'm sure you're going to heal up pretty quick there.
I'm trying. These shows do take it out of me. So, all right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
Okay. Thanks, Jim.
All right. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. And there we go. Why couldn't I? Oh, because I couldn't end it over here. All right, there we go. Now I know how to do my job. Get out of there. No, I don't want AI to touch it. Stop. Well, you got to love it, huh? All right, guys, let me get myself straightened up back here. For some reason, I'm off center. See, this is what I don't know. See, I talked about like the audio went off when we moved over to the Zoom call. There were two settings in there that were turned off for no good reason. They were on Rode, but not on the Rode board. And so whatever it was that happened yesterday, or whoever I pissed off, I don't know, guys. They say they don't want to touch you, but they sure do touch you a lot, don't they? So anyway, let me fix that. There we go. So, all right. Real quick, if you have been listening to my show at all in the last 8 years or whatever it's been now, holy shit, man, it's been a long time. 6 years, 4 years, I don't know. How long has it been? We're in 26. So we're over 6 years. So we're at 7, 8 years, something like that. I have always wanted to make sure that you guys were going to be better. That what I would bring to you, what I would sell to you, what I would talk to you about, the things that I would inform you about, that these things, these conversations would make you better, and that you would get better, and that you would see things so that you were better prepared. And yes, that does mean that you know details that you wouldn't know because you are fully involved. Now, I described to you at the beginning of the show that there is an elite glass ceiling that unless you can run around with a sudden $1 billion in your back pocket because you won the lottery, you're not going to see that club. You may get close to it. You may get proximity to it. You may know somebody that may know, but you're not going to. And they know who you are, and you're not one of them. And they know exactly who their friends are. They know exactly who's in the club. They know exactly who to take care of. And you're not going to fake it. You're not going to get your way in there because you're sweet and kind and cute, fat and skinny and tall and short. But with that, knowing that there is a point where money does create a depravity in people and that no government or society has the ability to affect that, when you understand what the rules of the game are, now you become more powerful. You have now equalized or tried to level the playing field. So when we talk about how we're going to be, how we're going to act, how we're going to see things, the things that we want to see, the things how we want to see them, I will tell you right now, we have to slow the whole clock down. We have to slow this whole scene down for a second and realize we're gonna row as hard as we can. We're gonna push as hard as we can. But now that we know that they're just a bunch of little weirdos, now, guys, I'm not saying that eating children or other humans is somehow just a mistake, that they're weirdos. But at the end of the day, that's their thing. But you have to when you become a billionaire, that's really the best you could do. You couldn't race boats. You couldn't fly jets. You couldn't try to, invent, water marshes in the desert. I mean, you really, that best you could do was eat a child. I want you to think of it in that simple way. I don't want you to get mad at me for saying it this way, but I want you to slow it down for yourself, because in reality, like I've said before, if you kill me, then you are the person who killed me. You are a killer. You're the one who pulled the trigger. You're the one that did whatever, right? Well, here's the thing. I'm over here going, you guys eat children? That's stupid, dude. That is so crazy. Like, that doesn't even sound like fun. Like, not even like, oh, hey, the other day I was thinking about, what if I could eat a kid? Nobody's doing that. So you go to be a billionaire where you could literally carve a new Nile. You could carve the new Nile River off into Israel and make divide the Gaza Strip off of Israel with a big river through there. You could do whatever you wanted on this earth. And the best thing you came up with was doing something really gross, like eating a kid. Are you guys hearing me? See, this is where we got to get real about this, guys. This is where we got to understand where we are. Where our heart is, where our authenticity starts and stops, and who we know we are, and how honest we are to the world about who we are and what we really are inside. And all of a sudden, when we go out here going, hey, I'm Jim Price, and this is it. Ta-da! And they're over there going, oh, don't tell anybody I'm eating kids, man. Shoot, I got $1 billion, and I'm going to eat kids. That's it? You look like Bill Gates. You look like, Bezos with the shitty nose. You look like that. You look like you have $1 billion. You look like that. And the best you can come up with was eating a kid. That's it. You went all the way up there to get $1 billion to go eat a kid. I kind of like the idea that I'm going to put a yurt up in the backyard and I'm going to put up some different some different 9 different living quarters, and it's going to have a whole year-round greenhouse that's half earthen, and then this is going to be awesome. I'm going to be having all kinds of cool shit going on, and got the garden and stuff. It's going to be great. That's my turn on. That's where I'm doing it. That's what I'm getting to. That's what I want to see. That's what gets my trigger going, right? Trips the old trigger going, right? Let's do this. But you got all the way to be a billionaire. You got all the way to President of the United States. And it wasn't good enough to get handled by Monica Lewinsky, because you did. You got handled by her. She was your handler. She handled you, big boy. But then you just had to go ahead and eat kids. And your wife, too? Come on, man. You got to be President of the United States, and you still did that stupid shit? Come on. Think about it. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Am I have lost my marbles that I'm like, how stupid it sounds that you got to be a billionaire on Earth at one of the times when we have the most advanced most unbelievable ability to communicate and create and do all these things, and you've got billions of dollars, and the best you can do is go to some little 5 square acre island called Little St. James to go eat a kid. That was and then you had to hide it with codes and all this. Really? That's how cool you are? Good job, Bezos. Good job, Billy. Good job, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We all see your names on all the flight logs. Good job, boys and girls. You did awesome. Good job, you. Wow. Seriously, I'm over here thinking about my bees for this next year, and I'm hoping that one of my bees that was a little small and it was a little struggled, but I was hoping that they would make it through, and I don't know if my big hives were going to make it either, because we did have some really sharp, cold days, but I had them blanketed in, but I don't know if I had them blanketed in enough, and blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about the different trees around the property, and I've got the mimosas that I like, and they have the little pretty flowers on them, which actually mimosa flowers are a really great healing tincture, by the way. They can actually, the flowers every year can be made into tinctures, and it's got this amazing painkiller in it. It's really cool stuff, and, I'm thinking about that, but oh no, I'm going to get on a plane, the Leota Express, and go eat a kid. Why? Why? What wasn't good enough? Who didn't spank you hard enough? Or what? What? Seriously? You're a billionaire? You're president of Uganda or Africa or Europe or whatever it is, and that's what you did with your time and your elevation? I mean, I don't know. I'd want to go take hot laps in a NASCAR. For real. I'd like to go, do some jet flying, like flying fighters and stuff, and really getting into some cool shit and learning now how great those are. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'd like to see what it's like to watch my toilet in my boat spin one direction as I go across the equator, and it spins the opposite direction. Why not? That's kind of cool shit to do. Maybe I'm thinking too small. Maybe I would be thinking about how I would sit there and create these little places that like I have here over and over and over again and watch people amplify who they are and make themselves better. But I'm thinking like that's what I would do with my billions, but maybe that makes me a sucker. Because I guess billionaires go and eat kids. Stop already. This is the reality of it, guys. So that was what they all wanted to be. So, also today's episode was episode 1360 with Carbon 60. I thought that was kind of metaphorical or a quinkadinky or whatever you want to call it, but nothing is coinkadink, right? But by the way, if you guys go over to c60.com and if you get yourself something there, just put in the promo code PRICE and you should get a discount. And I do get credit for that. It has been a great product for me, and it has been very, but that's all, folks. It's been very beneficial to me and my animal husbandry around the plantation, farm. Plantation, does that mean I have slaves? See what I did there? Anyway. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be about it for me. I do appreciate everybody out there. It's been great seeing you. Great comments today. Courtney Allen, I hope you get to feeling better. I will tell you, Courtney, you need to be on a probiotic from now until forever. Please understand that I know that sounds raw brand, R-A-W brand. It's an R-A-W. Get it at Natural Grocers or Whole Foods. But you will need to be on a probiotic and a chaga mushroom, like the chaga mushroom I have at sillygnome.com, PSILLYGNOME.com, sillygnome. Get over there, get yourself some chaga, and get yourself on some probiotics. You're going to need to be on that for an extended period of time, if not forever, because one of the things that your appendix actually does is store special bacteria to help with digestion, and now that you've lost that, that will be an effect you will have. So anyway, just thought I'd talk about that. Good stuff. I'm glad you're feeling better, and sorry that you lost your intestinal pinky. So anyway. All right, guys, remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less have to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast, do not give up, do not give in. We will win, I promise, and I promise I can't keep, guys. You've always been the answer. Remember, the Constitution limits the government, but never limits you. You've always been the answer. You have all the power. They are your public servants. And everything I'm coming to you guys with is because I want you guys to be better. I want you guys to be more prepared because you guys deserve it. But all the things that are going to come at you are going to be hard, okay? Things are going to be coming at you, and they're going to be hard because you're going to realize that a lot of things that you thought were justice and a lot of things that you thought should be right and that there wasn't a two-tier system, you're going to learn now that there is a multi-tiered system, and you wish it was two-tiered. You're going to find out there's levels to this tier that even when I say that national governments will not affect these people, that's where you see that there are levels of judicial preference. All right, guys, that's going to be about it for me. Good seeing you guys. Thank you so much for everything you guys are doing out there. Maggie O'Leary, good to see you guys. And Brenda, Edward, Dave Slee, Diana Piles was here, and lots of others. Julie, thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. Sarah T was here. Oh, good to see you. All right, so anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys will be good to each other out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.